This is like a vehicle that was trying to take Kyiv.
Yeah. It made it to the streets of Kyiv, fortunately in Ukrainian hands.
So Ukraine has captured huge numbers of Russian tanks.
Enormous numbers.
Enormous numbers.
We have captured more tanks that we have received from the Western countries.
Do we have a protocol at the moment?
Listen. Listen to this guy.
This behind me is Tower 101. Very tall office building here in central Kyiv. It's one of the first sights I saw after arriving at the train station. It's about a 1-minute drive from there, just a couple blocks away, and it was hit by the Russians. The whole side of the building. It also struck some of the lower buildings, the homes near the base of it. There were casualties, I'm not sure how many, but thankfully the entire building was not full at that time. You can imagine there's no words. You look and you see. This area isn't shut down or anything. This is still a thriving central street in Kyiv. But what I want to show you today is some of the beautiful architecture that exists in the center of this amazing city. On my way to Kyiv, when I told a friend I was coming to Kyiv, he sent me a message and said, well, welcome to the greatest city on the continent. The continent being Europe. Ukraine is not part of the European Union, but it's a city that identifies very much with this continent, sees this city, Kyiv, as being a very important cultural hub, which it clearly is. This entire part of the city is filled with rich history. And see that little espresso bar in the middle of that epic structure behind me? They sure love their coffee in this country, that is for sure.
Joe, you've been to Kyiv a few times.
Yeah, many times.
What's your take on the city?
Well, here, this is one of the ancient, right, this church that we just looked at, St. Michael's Golden Dome Monastery. This church originally was 1,000 years old, but the Soviets destroyed the entire place.
Wow.
In the 90s, they rebuilt it. Kyiv it's a mystical city. It's older, by the way, than Moscow, older than Russia.
In fact, Russia would perhaps like people to forget.
Well, yeah, but I think it's part of the reason why Putin wants Kyiv so much, because it is the spiritual home of the Slavic people. And as we'll see up here, there's a statue of Vladimir the Great. He was a great Slavic prince and king that brought Christianity to this region. So this was the heart of the people called Kievan Rus. And it was a huge empire 1,000 years ago. And this city still has Kyiv, as you'll see, Dan, as we go around. It's a very modern city. Like, for example, we took the train and you just put your debit card to get through you don't have to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
It's very modern, but it's also, it's a city with a deep and ancient soul. If you were speaking Russian, you'd say Vladimir, but in Ukrainian, Volodymyr the Great. This is where the Kievan Rus became baptized as Christians, right here at this spot. In the summertime, before the war, the beaches would be crowded because you can swim in the water.
Wow.
Ukrainians who died in the first 8 years of the war. So from 2014, after Russia took Crimea and parts of the Donbass. And also Ukrainians who died, the 100 who died in the revolution. First alarm since last Wednesday. Yeah, keep going.
A bit of strange symbolism here. Just as Joe was pointing out, we're passing by a monument to fallen soldiers from the past. Over the past 8 years, I've just heard my first air alarm here in Kyiv. I don't need to really say anything, you can hear it for yourselves.
Do we have a protocol at the moment?
Listen. Listen to this guy. No reason. You see, no one runs.
Yeah.
No one runs. And it's that non-running and non-panic that gives everyone strength.
Yeah.
It's So up here, these are captured Russian tanks, and you'll see as we turn left, you'll see this is the original Saint Sophia. This is sort of the heart of it is the heart of Slavic Christianity. It was modeled after Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. It was built over 1,000 years ago. This church is older than Moscow, and it's the Cathedral of Saint Sophia.
Sorry to cut you off, Joe. That's kind of interesting. We're seeing an American, we're seeing a British flag as well.
This is a guy from the Georgian Legion who died fighting with Ukraine. They've been fighting with Ukraine since 2014, but also many Americans have enlisted with them. See how many of these guys died in 2014.
Yeah, it's... So this is a live update. This is the whole of Ukraine, which is currently under the alarm system.
First time since last Wednesday.
So that indicates even back in Lviv they're hearing it. This means there's a threat to everything at the moment.
Yeah, we know missiles that can reach anywhere in Ukraine active.
So a bit earlier, Joe was referencing the revolution in 2014. We just walked out of the church and we saw these burnt up, destroyed vehicles, tanks specifically behind me. And I thought they might have been from 2014, but no. These are Russian vehicles from this year which have been captured, and they've been left here in central Kiev as a clear symbol of defiance against the Russian military aggression. And it's I mean, what else can I say? It speaks for itself. Look at this.
Right there it says Putin Huilo. I don't know if you can repeat in English, but Putin Huilo is Ukrainians don't like to swear, but they can. Yeah. You can swear about Putin.
How's it translate?
Putin's a dick. Yeah, Putin Huilo. Right there, words.
Interesting history. It was destroyed as a result of an artillery strike on an accumulation of military vehicles in the Russian forces at the Antonov airport nearby Hostomel.
It's a suburb of Kyiv.
Okay, so this is early when they were pushing all the way to Kiev.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a transplant from the east. This is like a vehicle that was trying to take Kiev.
Yeah. It would have been on. It made it to the streets of Kiev, fortunately, in Ukrainian hands. But this is what these were rolling down through the neighborhoods on the edge of Kiev.
That is something.
This machine of terror. Now,
dear God. I just got to stop here a moment because this is rather surreal. I knew that the Russians had been pushing, and to capture Kyiv would be that would be their goal, right? It's the economic center, it's the political center of this country, but I had no idea that vehicles like this were actually close enough that this is what the residents of Kyiv were dealing with earlier this year. And look at it now. Look at this, June 2022. It was destroyed during fights in Sumy region. Russian troops have lost more than 50 of these since the invasion. Another sign of how digitally proficient we are here in Ukraine. QR codes for the information, English and Ukrainian. They want to get the information out. They want people to understand what's happening to their country. You speak English?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
What does this say? Do you know?
We do not clearly
Okay.
understand.
It's not Ukrainian.
It's a Chinese.
Oh, it's Chinese. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I know. Okay.
This is Ukrainian.
What does it say?
Joker. Is that Joker?
Putin Joker.
Joker is from Batman, you know?
Yeah.
Joker. It's Joker.
Okay. Wow. Where are you from? From Kiev?
No, I'm from Ivano-Frankivsk region.
Okay.
It's
Wow.
Just students.
Bukovel.
Students.
Bukovel,
Yeah.
Гуцул. Чудово.
He is American living in Ukraine.
In Ukraine?
I'm from Canada, just visiting.
Wow, cool.
How does it make you feel to see this?
Good.
We get used
Some
to
pleasure.
it.
Used to it. Some pleasure to see.
Russian
Yeah.
technique.
Wow. Strange feeling. I mean, I feel like
I've only seen this in a museum, but here we are on the streets, and this is life. You know, it's very strange.
You should visit our Independence Day.
There was like a
the-
full Хрещатик street of tanks. And
So Ukraine has captured huge numbers of
Yeah.
Russian
Yes.
tanks.
Enormous.
Enormous numbers.
We have captured more tanks that we have received from the Western countries.
You hear that, Joe?
No, what?
And he said we've captured more tanks than we've received from Western countries.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And America left more in Afghanistan than we've given to Ukraine, but I hope we
Yeah.
give more. We need more HIMARS and we need longer range weapons.
Yeah.
But malo po malo.
Yeah.
I got stuck here when the pandemic started, and I realized it was the freest country in the world. And I'm a journalist, but now I'm volunteering to help. And we UkrainianFreedomNews.com, and sharing the truth of Ukraine to America. So,
Yeah, he has been teaching me Ukrainian history, and like this guy has learned a lot about this country. It's really cool. So I am making YouTube series about Ukraine, trying to show people what life is like today.
What channel?
The channel?
Yeah.
yes, the name of the channel.
The name is The New Travel.
The new travel.
The New
Okay.
Travel. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. One thing I ask when I meet people is, what do you love about Ukraine?
I guess people.
The people. Yeah. Very good people. What do you think?
I love our army and our defense is pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cuisine, I think.
The cuisine?
Yeah.
What's your favorite food from Ukraine?
I love Ukrainian food at all.
All
In
of it.
general.
In general.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have been to many countries, but I realized afterwards how tasty our food is at home.
It's about 15 minutes after hearing my first air siren alarm. So that is the anti-missile defense system, which indicates that something is coming in from Russia. It actually sounded for the entire country this time. Bit of a surreal feeling. I mean, part of me is trying to show you these beautiful buildings around, but at the same time you have this background feeling. But I do have to point out this gorgeous building directly across the street. I mean, just look at that entranceway. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Bit of music in the park. As you can see, life continues on.
What is your name?
My name is Olesa.
And are you from Kiev?
I'm not from Kyiv, but I moved here in 2007, I guess. So yeah, and living here for quite a bit now.
Great.
Yeah, staying here with my family.
And what do you love about Ukraine?
Well, I love people of Ukraine, of course, because the dignity we have and you know, the bravery, it's outstanding, and it goes back to ancient, you know, old times. In our history, it's all through our history, and we had some really difficult times, and not just now, but yeah, this dignity and bravery that was always with our people, and generosity also. So yeah, I stay here and I love my country because of the people, first of all.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you. I hope
Yeah.
this helps.
Is there anything else you would like to say to viewers from another country at this time?
Yeah, I'd like to say to all who support us, thanks a lot, because this means so much. Like, you know, like for people who are living and staying abroad because they are afraid for their kids, for their lives. There are so many people who share their homes, who give jobs to these people, like, and just support, you know, like morally, and this is like impressive and so precious, and we actually value that a lot. And for all those people who come to Ukraine, who want to witness, like you, just like you, who want to witness with their own eyes what it's like to be to live in these difficult times in this context, we appreciate that a lot, because you are the words you speak to the world and show matter what's going on here. And to everyone else who just has this support in their heart, thank you so much.